he got exactly what he wanted. He got the angle, he got a little airspace, and he converted with the 2 points.
All right, this ought to be good. David Fizdale is at the podium right now, and he has now got his first 2 wins as a head coach, playoff-wise in the NBA.
How did you guys do this? Come back from 0-2 and, take momentum of this series?
Credit to the guys in the locker room, just having a lot of heart and really leaning on each other when we were down and out. Obviously my veteran leadership has really stepped up, but everybody contributed tonight. I mean, winning plays all over the place. It means a lot to these guys, and they really feel like they belong. And, I know we were a 7th seed, but we felt like we beat the best teams in the West and that we can at least compete with the best. So our guys have a lot of confidence that way.
Coach, Lee Smith, new Tri-State defender. 22 turnovers tonight, a lot of them unforced. How do you survive so many turnovers against the Spurs of all teams?
I don't know, really. It was a very frustrating process to see us turn the ball over that way. But, when we didn't turn it over, guys made big plays. And, honestly, I'm taking suggestions on how to guard Kawhi Leonard because I've tried everything. And the guy is just, he's tough. Man, is he a superstar.
Coach, your rookie point guard, Andrew Harrison, really struggled in Game 1. He's really played better Game 2 and Game 3. Can you talk about his progression through these last 2 games?
He's really settled into the series. Andrew, the one thing about him that I kept noticing all year is when it gets tough and everybody's getting tight, he finds a way to make a play. And, I don't like talking about my old team in moments like this, but I showed them the finals from last year and the LeBron play. And, that's something LeBron used to do for us in Miami regularly. And I just told these guys, something we teach is how do you save a possession? That's something we bred in those guys back in Miami. You don't know what play it's going to be. And he did it earlier against Chris Paul this year, and it was a huge play. But this one, the track down was unbelievable. And that was just an incredible play by a rookie player.
Coach Greg Gaston, Sports 56 Radio. You were really able to utilize that bench. Daniels comes in, hits a couple of threes. You talked about the plays of Harrison, but you got those starters some time, some spells in the fourth quarter. How important was that for the stretch and then the overtime?
It was huge, but, man, it was just these guys just battle, man. The Spurs don't ever let you breathe. And every time I felt like we was going to get a break away from them, they would just go right back, 6, 8 point run. And but our bench was huge tonight. We had good balance scoring. Troy Daniels, you just, like I told him, you just don't know when I'm going to call your number. You got to be ready. And I thought the 2 threes he hit were really big shots. But everybody really contributed and helped us.
Fizz, you've leaned on Mike Conley so much this year. Can you encapsulate what he was able to do tonight on both ends?
Well, I mean, I don't think we're going to have the discussion about how much money he's worth anymore. I think that's mute. I don't want to hear about it, at least. The guy is a superstar. And we're watching it. You watched it this year happen, but now you're watching it on the biggest stage with the biggest lights, and he's really rising to the occasion. And can you think of a guy you'd rather root for? This guy's as good a human being as you can get. So I just, whatever good happens for him, I expect it, and I'm just really proud of his evolution as a player.
What's been a turnaround for these last 2 games for your bench? I mean, in games 1 and 2, non-existent, and 3 and 4.
I think playing at home helps that. Guys are more comfortable at home, sleeping in their own beds, playing in their own arena. And I think for our young guys, it was just, those first few games, they had the jitters. And maybe now coming home, getting their feet wet here, playing well, and now going back out on the road, they'll feel a little bit more comfortable.
Coach, kind of a follow-up question to that. Sometimes role players do play better in the home gym than they do on the road. How do you kind of take the best of what your role players were able to do tonight and translate that to San Antonio?
I try to just put them in a situation that they can succeed in. And really try to highlight their strengths and really, tuck away their weaknesses. And, all I ask for out of all of them is that they compete with a clear head and are reliable to doing their job. You know, whether they make shots or miss shots, who knows? But can you do your job with a clear head and be reliable to doing it every single play? So, you know, we've had a really crazy year with our lineups and things like that. I got a ton of trust in these guys. These are my guys, and they've stepped up for me all year, and you know, I don't expect anything different from any of them right now.
I know that first quarter seemed like it happened 2 days ago, but when y'all fell behind by 10 and the way you punched right back, did that kind of set you up to take the Spurs punches throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean, if you can't, that's the thing about it. Like, you know, I learned a long time ago against the Spurs, if you don't have mental stability when they punch you in the mouth, you're in the wrong business, because they will go on. You know, we saw what they can do at their place if you don't take that punch right. So I really thought we did a good job of just sustaining, you know, and weathering storms. Like I said, the young guys bought me time in the second half when I didn't want to use another timeout, you know, and they held on to the lead for me. So, you know, you just got to really be mentally tough to play against the San Antonio Spurs and be able to, you know, battle through tough times.
Coach, James Ennis had a few tough plays, a few plays he didn't get to call, but then he's out there on the final possession. What are you saying to him to encourage him as the game goes?
I'm just constantly telling him, move on. And, you know, I apologize to him, because I didn't handle some situations well where I went off on him too hard, I think, you know, where I need him to be confident, and I don't need him thinking about me. And so I had to back off of him a little bit and, you know, pat him on the butt and tell him it's okay and get out there, because he was competing his tail off against Kawhi. I mean, guys, this guy is – we're watching another megastar right before our eyes. I mean, and James is just battling him, and, you know, that last possession, he finally got his hand in there at the right time and got us a stop when we needed it.
It's when they really started jumping out on you. They were running those screen and rolls really high up, and you guys had some issue. What did you do to kind of alleviate some of those things? Because you got a lot better in that.
I think we just did our job better. I didn't really make a ton of adjustments this game. You know, it was just a matter of, can you do your job and do it well? You know, I'm not going to, when I see that we're not executing what we said we were going to do, I'm not just going to bail out to an adjustment when we don't do what we do right. You know, I'm just not going to let us off the hook that way. Until we try what we say we were going to set out to do, and then that doesn't work, then we'll switch it up. So it's just a matter of us digging in, doing it harder, doing it with more focus.
What are the? I know you've been in certainly big games in Miami before, not as the head coach though. What are the emotions as you're coaching that? And are you aware that it's an improbable classic sort of already, that two heavyweights going at it? What are your emotions as you're coaching that game?
I'm just enjoying it. I really am. I'm having fun with this. You know, it's a lot of times in this that I'm learning fast in this seat that you don't have time to enjoy any of it. You're just so miserable. You know, I think Raul said it best. There's winning and there's misery, and he is not lying about that. And, you know, so now it's like playoff time. I know that we're the underdog, or, you know, been picked to not win it. And so it's just fun, man, just to see our guys out there competing and battling and, you know, playing for each other. That's what this is all about. It's still a sport. It's still game. And I think sometimes business-wise we get too caught up in that stuff, and I just need to take a step back and enjoy it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Mike and Mark.